you have to worry about that. Tied 2-2 now in those dragons, and I think we're onto something here, Smacks. I think this is the next. I know this is really random. True Shot Barrage using mid lane, by the way. This is our podcast now, Smacks. This is what we do. We cast League of Legends, but with no video, and we just radio style it. We go like old school, and you know, we give the people what they want.
Yeah, see, Twisted Fate's going into the enemy bot lane jungle.
And we have to
see?
theme it that way. Come on, like, you know, every now and then you take some like some tinfoil and like scrape it together, like we're kind of losing signal. Or OBS does that anyway, so that's fine. We don't need that. It's OBS.
Oh, this world seed's coming. It's coming. It's gone into the head of Sastio, and he activates the ultimate from a mile away.
It's gonna be some like old baseball announcer. This is gonna be amazing. Anyways, we're back in League of Legends, ladies and gentlemen. This was our first edition of the Smacks and Mazel podcast for any 90s baseball themed League of Legends casting action you would need. We are back into the game, and with this Baron buff, they have been able to push a decent amount. Winthrop able to get some advantages, get some vision down in the enemy blue side jungle, and keep pressing it, keep trying to get some damage, some pop shots onto these towers, as you see on the bot side.
Yeah, I hope that people need that, because I would love to do this one. But yes, the
I know,
bot
right?
lane turret is down, as you mentioned, and it is again Doxa doing this. They have to back away from this Silas. He's just so powerful in this game. Oh, that Tempered Fate, not quite enough
huge
to find War Machine Hyper again. Whoa, he just used his ult.
Yeah, that's big. Infectress gets low. Solar Flare goes into the back. True Shot Barrage is going to snipe it. Short Hop with the play. Zenith Blade coming in. Destiny's going to follow. They want the fight. They want the kills, but they can't do it. Captain Shrimps had the Destiny pop, but he didn't pull the trigger, as he's going to do so now to get to the bot lane. And I feel like there's a little bit of miscommunication from just randoms.
Wow. I can't believe that Short Hop just uses his arcane shift in the middle of everyone like that. That was that put me on edge right there. I was I don't know. I don't know about doing that one. That makes me concerned as an Ezreal player.
Just
seeing
a little
that
bit.
happen.
Just a little bit. Wait,
But,
he's not a melee champion? What? Oh, I've been playing Ezreal all wrong, Smack.
But, you know, they got there in the end. They ended up with a 1-for-0. They find the pick onto Infectrix, and they live to tell the tale. Short Hop still, like I mentioned, he has his Muramana up and available now, and he's going to be working toward that Death Dance, I think, as he does have that Culture's Warhammer. So it's going to make him even more difficult to kill, and lots of lifesteal down, too.
I would like to see more heal cut come through from just randoms, honestly. You just have the one right now on Short Hop, and I feel like Doxa being this carry, having the Kingslayer and getting all of that health back, plus everybody else who has lifesteal right now, it feels a little bad. But, I mean, it's not the biggest thing, and I'm sure later in the game we'll see a little bit more of that, but I definitely think it's going to be a big factor going further.
Yeah, it definitely is, and especially once the mountain drakes come through too, that's gonna make that Death Dance even more valuable, as it does increase the resistances built by that item and the Iceborne Gauntlet too. So Corrupt's gonna be a lot more tanky than usual.
Oh, the combo here.
Ooh.
Chem and Captain Shrimps are gonna find out. Hey, Baragi says, "Hey guys, I haven't seen you in a long time." He's going to try to get out here as everybody has committed. He wants the blast coat, but he brings it right back in. Nice ward hop. Hey, Baragi's going to be put to sleep, though. He says, you may get away for a second, but you will not for long. War Machine Hyper picks up the kill.
Oh, man. He used both wards and his flash to get away from that one, but it just wasn't enough.
Ooh, Solar Flare onto Sasco. Has to burn the cleanse. War Machine Hyper. They have the collapse here. Oh, no. Captain Shrimps walks right into Doxa. Can they get the damage down? War Machine Hyper, everybody's going through the magical journey. They have the damage on Infectrix. He goes down. And that's 3 bodies counting here for just random. They want to make it more, but maybe they just turn onto the Baron.
And the Baron is up. They've slain Infectrix. They've killed the Jax. They've murdered Saskio. It's only Doxa and Sir Kenji left alive. Doxa does have his teleport, but I don't think he's going to be using it over to this 1 versus 5. The Baron going over, and man, this game is very close, but I have to say it is a little bit of a top div, Lennon.
It
This
is. It
Camille is
definitely
fed.
is. Yeah, she's really fed. And the longer it goes, like the worse it gets. She's still missing 2 items right now. Dragon is started up. This is sole point for them as they are going to secure it. Nobody's going to contest it, and that's huge. That means the next fight has to be won by the side of Winthrop. They have to stop that soul from being taken. And what can you really do? I just love it because now we're just trading leads back and forth, Smacks. It is just randoms who have re-secured the lead, and actually by a hefty margin.
Yeah, this goal graph's gonna be a roller coaster for sure. Up and down and up and down and up and down. You got the Appalachian Mountains on this.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure. But yeah, with this Baron now taken by just randoms, you gotta imagine that they're gonna be sending at least a few people into this mid lane. The mid lane turret is still up. The first tier for Winthrop. So with that Baron buff in tow, that's the first place I would look personally. They're better at League of Legends than me, so they might know a little thing or two about it than I don't. But I'm imagining that's where they're going to go, and it looks like that's where they're going to.
Yeah, it definitely does. So that magical journey just that reminded me that they all piled into that little tiny magical journey there. That was so funny. They all just like stood there for a second, like, "Oh, guys, are you here too?" I do have to point out though, in that fight, we didn't really talk about it. Man, Captain Shrimps with the ghost, just full speed flank. He just walked straight into Doxa and then Zanya. Like, I love it. That's the ultimate gamer moves. Here comes the magical journey coming in. That's 4 members just getting delivered to the fight right on top of Pockets. Look at that big true shot barrage across it, though. They're all going to be put to sleep. Here comes the Destiny. The Wombo combo that you never even dreamed of comes alive. They take everything. They have so much gold, and they are pressing it into the faces of Winthrop here. They are under towers. They don't even care anymore as they take the first inhib tower. They use this Baron buff. There's still huge death timers here. This is the game, Smacks.
That sleep was ridiculous, Lennon. War Machine Hyper landing the Swirl Seed onto 4 members. They all stacked up into the magical journey. That was their doom. Everyone knew exactly where they were going to be. A bowling ball to the face, and the splash damage ensured that they would all be sleeping with the fishes and taking them to game number 2. What a way to end it from just randoms.
It really was a flash of light and a watch out Eep. That is it. All of a sudden, off one fight, the game is over. Just a incredible game number 1 to set up this best of 3 series here. I hope we have games just like this every single one down the line.
Oh yeah, that was insane. That game was so close.
It was.
I'm shocked how close that game was, and it was very, very cool seeing the difference in play styles too.
Yeah,
we saw just
so
randoms
cool.
attack the entire top side through and through the entire game long. And Winthrop, they did exactly the same through their bot lane. They got their Graves ahead through those neutral objectives. They rotated Saskiel up to that top lane to take away those turret plates and the Rift Herald. But in the end, I guess top is indeed better than bot in this game, at least.
It's I'm just gonna highlight your words again. It's a little bit top diff.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that Camille setting the pace for the game was insane. And there were so many good fight back moments for Winthrop, but it just felt like just randoms had the control for most of it. I mean, there was that one moment the gold lead switched over, and you kind of saw a bit of time for them that they were really coming online. But that one fight, that one swirl seed, oh my goodness, that just ends the hopes and dreams. But hopefully they can come back in game number 2 and give us another fighting chance.
Yeah, I'm definitely hoping for it. Like we mentioned, Winthrop, this is their last chance at keeping their destiny in their own hands in the entire Risen Championship series. So definitely going to be on them to bring it back in game number 2 and make it a close series. But
yeah,
it was already a close game number 1. So I got to give it to just randoms. That top jungle duo, chef's kiss. Insane.
Yeah, and War Machine Hyper is definitely the standout here. But we're going to break it down a little bit more for you here on the analyst desk. So you're going to want to check that out. We got some big brains on that desk here. We'll see you in a little bit for game number 2.
Now, this is going to be a very interesting segment, as much like you viewers at home, we also did not get a feed for the portion of the game, so we're on the same page as all of you guys when it comes to this game number one. Now, but there are a few things we can be certain of, and we're going to focus mostly on those. First up, Jack, we got to talk about this top lane, because we came into this, the draft, it was supposed to be, the Jack's counter pick, so well done in the second part of the draft, and then the Camille ended up 3-0 with the Triforce at like 13 minutes, and that snowballed from there.
I typed it in the Twitch chat, and I'll say it here again. We call that the Top Lane Experience Deluxe Edition, where it can be a counter matchup, but next thing you know, you're getting ganked left and right, because there were 3 two-man ganks coming out from both mid and jungle from just randoms to focus on that top lane, get that Camille ahead. And we saw it. Chime just able to pop off so hard on that Camille. The Jack's just not able to do anything for the most part on Winthrop, just having such a hard time being put so far behind. I know Ravish put down a note about doing his best Dyrus impression, but I wouldn't say he was doing that intentionally. It's just one of those things where it's like, all right, I got ganked. I'll get back to the lane and I'm behind. Oh, I got ganked again and I died again. All right, I'll walk back to the lane. Oh, I got ganked again. And I mean, nothing you can really do. Thankfully, though, his team was able to get some advantages across the map when he died, usually in that top lane. I believe we saw an early Ocean Dragon come out for the side of Winthrop after he died in top lane. And we saw the Rift Herald be taken after his death in the top lane, I want to say. Either way, though, it is the Top Lane Experience Deluxe Edition, and not much Hyberagi could have really done in that situation. Like, it's hard to 1 versus 3 when you're a level 3 Jack Sunder turret.
It really is.
Yeah, undoubtedly, right? And especially with how consistent attention he was getting from War Machine Hyper, right? I mean, came in on the Lilia and then the TF coming up to the top lane as well. Ravish, that just makes it so tricky, even if you have a quote-unquote counter matchup.
It's just not a fun time. Look, I'll tell you, as a top laner myself, I've been in those games. I felt those emotions. I've been on the receiving end of those dives, man. And like, yeah, but at the end of the day, did Hyberagi get to play the game? Yeah, he did. But did he have to play Farming Simulator for about 20 minutes? Also, yes. Like, unfortunately so, but that's what you have to do if you want to try to be relevant at the end of the day. But the top diff, like Jack was mentioning, which is a bit too far, because if you go ahead and look at how many resources that they were using to actually go ahead and take down the Camille, was taking away so much of their time and led away from the focus of the bot side, because like all they were throwing up at him at top, whatever side lane he was in, it allowed Lilia to just take like neutral objectives across the map.
Well, yeah. And speaking of which, Ravish, we're going to double back to that point, because while, yeah, Hyberagi had a rough game and, you say he had to go play Farming Simulator, it was more like Farming Simulator if an assassin showed up and murdered you every 5 minutes, right? As Chim wasn't really letting him live over in that side lane, but his team, Winthrop, was still able to get things done. We didn't get to see it on stream, but they got Baron at some point, presumably off the back of a team fight win, right? Pseudo, radio casted more or less by our good friends Maisel and Smacks. So Winthrop, it's safe to say that they're not just laying down and rolling over.
No, they were not, because we saw from the parts you saw on stream, right? Look, Winthrop was moving very much as a unit, coming off of a lot of the work that the Bard did there at the bot side. He played the roaming support very well. So, and from what we saw as well, Winthrop decided, instead of getting picked off, instead of having the assassins come after us, we'll go to them. We'll go ahead. We will give up Dragon. We want to take Rift Herald. Towers be damned. We just want to make sure that we can actually share some experience, get some of our laners ahead, and like create any sort of space for us across the maps.
Sure, yeah, undoubtedly. But, we have to kind of talk about moving on in this series. Because reminder for anyone who might just be tuning in for the first time to Risen Esports for our fall 2020 split, this is a best of 3, right? So we have at least one more game for Winthrop to bring this back. Jack, what adjustments do we want to see them make in the draft? The Camille, they thought they had the counter matchup, didn't go so well. The Ashe priority was good, but it kind of fell under the radar. So what do we want to see from Winthrop in game 2?
Well, the thing is, like, it was a very, very close game for the most part. There was even one part where we did get a little bit of radio casting, but Winthrop, they were able to make that huge comeback fight. They were able to pick up the Baron. So Winthrop, they definitely still got fight in them. They are doing a lot right. There are a few cracks in the creases, so to speak, that are kind of being pinpointed by the side of just random. So I feel like that if Winthrop is able to address those small weaknesses, maybe patch those up a little going into the next game, because I don't know how much of a drafting issue it was, because a lot of the issues do feel like they stemmed from just how hard that top lane was camped, and then of course just events later on in the series. So it is definitely hard to call. I will give Winthrop that, like I said before, they definitely were doing a bunch of things right. They were staying very even in the game, were able to keep their heads above that water for a damn reason. But there was just that one last fight, the straw that broke the camel's back, and then the entire base being taken. So it is a little bit up in the air here, I feel, Paul, because there are some ways you can approach it. You can, of course, like try and pinch the top lane pool for Chime there. You can, of course, also just have a different approach to the game, because you can have your jungler hover around top a little bit more, make sure Heiburagi has a little bit of an easier time, and just multiple and countless other ways that you could potentially address these small, slight flaws.
All right, well, Winthrop, they're going to have to get something done here in game 2. We're going to go to a quick break, guys, but when we come back, it'll be game 2. Hopefully, we'll be into the draft lickety-split. Welcome back, everybody. We're hot into game 2 for the draft here when it is Winthrop versus Just Randoms. The sides have swap. Winthrop are going to be on the red, Just Randoms in the blue. And we are going right into the draft, guys.
Right
I'm
now.
excited to see
Hi.
what the adjustments are as these teams
I don't know if
swap
she can
sides,
see me
Jack.
waving.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's definitely going to be interesting
Again?
because we had a couple of questions
Oh
after
my
that
God.
last time, and we can already see there are a few questions right now because it looks like we missed a ban. We
Jesus
missed.
Christ.
Ugh.
Two
Why?
bans.
Like,
Nobody
we're getting
banned
griefed by this
anything.
lobby. So
It's a stare down right
Yeah,
now.
Oh,
To
first
see
it
who
was
is going to
the-
be the first
Oh,
person
no.
to ban. All right, actually, we are getting another link. We are getting into draft bans, so we have been entirely baited. So we got another couple seconds before it comes out. No, we're not starting the draft with no bans from both teams, thankfully.
What can I say about the pro draft experience?
It was
It's-
I think it was Mad Magical last week or 2 weeks ago who was just saying stop with pro draft. You're trying to be a professional player. Get all the champions. You should just have them. I can't speak
Does
for
have a
that,
point.
but at the very least we wouldn't have these pro draft issues, right? So, buy some more champions, guys. Come on.
I mean, he is
what-
magical for a reason. You don't attain
true.
wizardry by just shouting random things. You gotta learn the spells, and I'm hoping Mad Magical is casting the Hocus Pocus Stop Using Pro Draft Ocus spell.
To be fair, he is also mad though, which means, well, one of two things. He's either insane or he's very angry. I think off that he was very angry. We're going into the draft now. Finally, we get actual bans coming through. Ravish, we're starting off with the Thresh. Gone off the table. This is pretty standard for Just Randoms. They've already banned it 3 times this split.
Yeah, they have, so nothing too out of the ordinary. With the Lucian as a second ban. On the other hand, though, the Shen Camille taken away. And of course it is. Of course, you saw how Just Randoms was able to take over the game with the Camille by giving her the snowball lead. The counter pick on the Jax was not able to do much, but that's because of the team coordination that we spoke about so consistently here, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that top lane pool is being pinched here, but seems like Winthrop, considering that last ban, the Nidalee going to be the next one. Didn't show up at all. Fell through entirely that first draft, but Winthrop have decided blue side Nidalee, a little bit too strong, Jack.
I don't blame them. I mean, Nidalee, when placed into the right hands, is one hell of a deadly force. Of course, it does take the right hands. It is a very high skill cap champion. And with Nidalee being taken off the board, we are just going to see the insta-lock Graves here for the side of Just Randoms, where last time around, we did at least see it wait until that B5 pick. However, though, if we're talking about deja vu here, Graves versus Lilia, we kind of saw that matchup last time around. We kind of saw the Lilia did out-farm the Graves. It did, of course, help last time around that Just Randoms. They did have that tempo advantage for most of the game, and that Caitlyn being hovered right now. We were talking about this a lot. Did fall through last time around, though.
Caitlyn nearly on the board, and it is worth noting that the two junglers have swapped sides of the jungle matchup, right? Last time it was War Machine Hyper using the Lilia. This time, instead, it is going to be the jungler of Winthrop taking that one. The Caitlyn finally locked in here. This is one of Winthrop's favorite picks for Saskio. This will be the 5th time he plays at this split, Ravish.
Now Saskio, we saw although he was able to run away from the Leaf Village, he was unfortunately did get a bit of run over down to that bot side, so was able to have the best time. Was never really allowed to go ahead and pop off. But on the other hand, that Caitlyn will be matched by the Jhin. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and reserve my thoughts because I'm sure my friend Sam Smacks Hyde has many thoughts.
I
Mr.
was
80
about to
carry
say the
himself,
exact same
yeah.
thing. As soon as we flip it back to the casters here, Sam's just gonna go, all right, Maisel, I know you have something to say. I'm gonna spend the next 5 minutes explaining to everyone here why I hate Jhin. But the Rumble actually getting through. That is a ban that we saw last time around. The last time these two teams met, it was a common face on the ban list, according to the match history I found on Pukar's sheet. Either way, though, I'm curious, is this going to be mid lane Rumble? Is this going to be top lane Rumble? A little bit of a bag of mystery. Jace, though.
Okay, this is look. Real quick, I'm actually a big fan of Jace. I think he's such a good pick, and we do not see him enough. Just in general, his early laning phase is a little bit weak because of mana problems, but once he just gets the tier, the pickaxe, literally just give him mana immune or allow him enough time to farm to even get it, and he becomes so strong. The ability to be able to go ahead, get hammered down is so good, man. He can be ranged, he can be melee. God, he's good. Love Jace.
Ravish, just admit you have a crush on Jace. Come on.
A little bit.
I mean, he's a handsome man. How
He
can
is a
blame him,
handsome lad.
honestly? It seems like Winthrop, they're trying to keep Jace alive, presumably in the top lane, pinching that top lane pool even more. This is going to be 4 bans against Uwo Chim here. This is insane right now. Uwo Chim, you don't have any champions anymore. There, I did it just for
Oh,
you.
whoa,
Jack.
what's this?
Yeah, exactly. Completely out. I mean, not completely out, realistically speaking, as Chim has played a lot of other picks, even so much as this split here in the Risen Champs. There's still Poppy, Mord, Maokai that he's already played. So even though it's 4 bans toward him, I'd be surprised if he's struggling at all this game, Jack.
Kled!
Kled? Sure, that's also a possibility.
I mean, we don't know where these picks are going because you can put Jace mid, Kled top, Kled mid, Jace top. There is a lot of flexibility, and I like this coming out of the side from Winthrop because they got to know. And oh my god, these are some lightning fast picks here, gentlemen.
Yeah, no, already the Bard locked in. Unsurprising, as last time these two teams met, Bard was picked every single time. By one team or the other, Bard saw 100% presence in their last series. The Malphite's going to be going up into the top lane. There is a lot of attack damage currently locked in for Winthrop. So Malphite stacking armor here is going to be pretty nasty to deal with, Ravish.
I also really like Malphite as well, like because
Especially against triple physical comps.
Oh, I'm all for it, man. AD composition, engage type picks. The top lane meta, which I so love, is being stretched more and more. So I'm living right now, fellas. So with the Malphite pick too, I'm sure we saw for Blue said that I can think it is going up against the Kled, and Kled is a solid pick into the Malphite's a solid pick into the Kled, because all Malphite has to do is just get 2, and I say 2 are cost-effective items. The Balmy Cinder and along with one piece of the Thorn Mail. And what piece is that, Jack? Yes, I will tell you. That being the Bramble Vest. Once he gets those 2 items, a little bit of boots, a little bit of armor, he's chilling. You max W and you go even in trades.
So what you're saying is we're gonna be seeing the Rabbi of Ninja Tab Eyes come out this game?
I hate that. Thanks, guys. I hate that so much. What I don't hate, though, is Leona, and we do have to have a clarification here, guys. The Nautilus that you are seeing on screen as that red 5 pick is actually the Leona. So that will be the support to round out Winthrop's composition. Jack, I'm going to start with you here. What catches your eye here, other than, Jace, Malphite, Rumble? Like, compositionally, what are we looking at here for these two teams?
I see a lot of people on the side of Winthrop that are going to be wanting some early last whispers. Like, there was that one match during play-ins. I forget the teams actually, but it was game 5, and one of the teams just happened to kind of lock in a triple physical composition without any real form of magical damage. Boom, Malphite, boom, unkillable, and we're going to see that Malphite become a real problem real quickly in this game. And when you look at the side of Winthrop here, fellas, like, there isn't a lot of ways to try and escape that unstoppable force if you are the backline. That Jace, you can't exactly dash out of that too easily. The Caitlyn, I mean, the 50 caliber net, it is a dash, but speaking from experience, it is a very slow dash, and you kind of can't outrun a giant flying mountain coming at you. I know that Smacks will have a lot of strong words about this Jhin, but I'm hoping he can even it out a little and see the glory that is this Malphite pick.
Sure, fair enough. Malphite, always fun to see hit the Rift. And honestly, it seems like it's going to be a pretty nasty team fight comp.
Disgusting.
For just randoms, right? You got the Malphite ult for the hard engage, the Rumble ult to follow it up. If you want to catch somebody off guard, you just throw the Bard ult in there, and it seems pretty nasty right now, Ravish, in terms of those team fights. Whereas Winthrop, maybe, I mean, I wouldn't say they lack as much team fight power, but they're probably skirting the edge of these skirmishes a little bit more.
Yeah, they're very looking to get like a lot more skirmishy, like looking to go ahead and focus more on their laners and get them ahead, because a lot of Winthrop's laners are very like resource heavy. The Kled, the Jace, the Caitlyn, they need their 1 to 2 item power spikes to be able to become relevant in the game, and the Lilia to nonetheless is also their only AP as well damage source. So she doesn't necessarily get relevant either. It's like, you know, like Jack mentioned, we might be in the rabbi of Tabis.
All right, well, we'll see just what sort of non-denominational characters hit the rift when we come back, guys. We're gonna go to a quick break, and then it'll be Maisel and Smacks for the call.
ladies and gentlemen, we are on to Jin's Rift for this Jin gameplay in Jin's Summoner's Rift. I am Mazel, and I'm joined by Smacks, and we have some wonderful Jin gameplay ahead of you today. Smacks, I know you have so many kind words to say about this man.
Jin 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 Jin.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Like, I mean, that's
Jin,
some provocative statements. I mean, Jin coming out here in the Jin form and being able to do Jin stuff, like it's just crazy. Okay, but seriously,
You want to know a fun fact about Jin?
All right, let's hear it.
Fun
What's
fact
the
about
one fun
Jin
fact?
number one. Fun fact about Jin is that his first name is Kada, and it has 5 letters, and it's terrible because it should have 4 letters. 4 letters, and they missed an opportunity. I don't know why they gave his
It's just
first
his stage name.
5 letters.
It's
It should
just
be
his
4.
stage name, okay? He's got to make it different. He's got to change it up a little bit. We do have a Jin in this game, and we just wanted to highlight that a little bit. He does have cleanse this time around, so make sure he can get out from all that wonderful CC that Leona will be putting down. But as we get into this game, I want to break down these compositions a little bit more. We talked about it on the analyst desk. We saw some wonderful analysis from them, but now we're into the game. We get to see it come to life. We see a switch up of sides here with just randoms on the blue side, the switch up of matchups in the jungle with Infectrix taking the Lilia and War Machine Hyper having the Graves. And so I'm really interested at how this game itself is going to play out and what the similarities are from game number 1.
The analyst desk did do a phenomenal job of setting up these compositions, but I think they were beating around the bush just a little bit too much. And I'm gonna dive at this completely head on. Are you ready? Are you ready?
All right, let's do it. I got my swim cap on.
Malphite's so broken this game. This is a Smurf pick. That's incredible. This pick is going to demolish them so hard. This is an incredible pick from Chim, who popped off in game number 1.
Yeah.
He's going to pop off in this one, too. There's no chance that anyone's going to be able to kill him.
I liked Gofrino's point. The flying mountain, literally just a mountain with wings at some point. But it's going to be interesting how Heibaragi really deals with that in the top side. We saw him play the Jax into Camille last time around. Now we can see Infectrix walk straight into War Machine Hyper. Bambi, you do not want to be taking shots from a shotgun. That's how your mother died, and you do not want that to happen. So he gets out of there, but the fight continues on to Doxa. Captain Shrimps gets a good trade early on with the Rumble, and nicely done by War Machine Hyper, getting some camps early on, stealing some of those away, and still being full health in the matchup.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that War Machine Hyper was able to take away that topside jungle here. Infectrix on this Lilia, usually you see that champion take those Raptors very early on because she does have such an easy time doing so with her Q, just hitting all of them at once and healing up just like we saw in game number 1, but instead, Infectrix goes for that full bot side clear, playing it a little bit more safe on that bot lane, and maybe that is a little bit telling as to, again, just where this team wants to be playing on the map. Again, it is based around Saskia and Serkenji, and they are on Caitlyn and Leona here, so it makes a lot of sense.
Well, what's crazy to me is usually you think that Leona, Caitlyn are going to be the oppressive bot lane, the ones with the pressure, the ones pushing up, but they're the ones under tower. They're the ones having to play defensively so far, at least, in the lane, and it sets up for some easy ganks, but you see Infectrix still not able to really get involved yet. He got put behind a little bit, had to get away from that engagement with War Machine Hyper. Now he's going to have to back, and now you can expect for him to try and get something rolling.
Yeah, it is very much due to Infectrix having a tough time in that topside jungle. He was found out, but
ooh, level 3 engage. Oh, those headshots, though, on Pacus. Cannot take that damage as a Bard. You do not have the health bar, and Saskia and Kenji come out on top.
It was only a matter of time if Pacus and Short Hop were going to play that aggressive.
Exactly.
When that would happen. The Zenith Blade is so brutal to get hit by as these ranged champions like the Bard and the Jhin. That does come on through, and then those headshots are soon to follow as Saskia displayed. So Pacus gonna have to flash right away in that lane. Still, he does have a lot of healing up with his shrine. So wait, hey Baragi.
Oh, hey,
trying to fight the
Baragi.
Malphite, bro? Get out of there.
He literally doesn't have a health bar, Smacks. If there's like 1 health between that bar and the actual health bar. Like, that is insane that he got the callback on Scarl that quick. I mean, that's That's good stuff from Heiberagi. Maybe a little bit of luck, but yeah, War Machine Hyper focusing against the top lane. Chim able to get a little bit of an advantage up there so far.
No, it's not luck for Heiberagi. That's skill.
It's not like it's all skill, baby. It's all skill.
But for
oh,
Chim,
no.
that was luck. Chim's like, this lucky Kled. Can't
So I
believe
just want
this
to
is happening.
highlight your eyes to the first item picked up here by Chim, and just want to let Heiberagi know that he's gonna have some trouble. Like,
Oh yeah.
that's not gonna be fun.
Oh, Pockets might be having some trouble
Get
too.
the stun. Infectrix is here. Doesn't really have the follow up there. Now he's caught out. Big equalizer coming down the bottom. Infectrix is done. That's first blood. War Machine Hyper picking it up on the Graves, and a terrible call for Infectrix.
Yeah, they were going for the bot lane. Bot lane plays yet again, trying to get that lane ahead with the Caitlyn and the Leona, but Caitlyn wasn't even there. He was recalling. He's on a reset timer. He has the BF sword. You can't go all in on the enemy jungle when you don't have all your pieces together. It's just asking to get killed, and with the extra long range of the equalizer that Captain Shrimp's displayed, that's going to happen. You're going to get killed, and Infectrix gets taken down for first blood.
Is that a bait by Kenji, though? Kenji was the one that walked up initially and, like, chased and got the stun on. I feel like that was a little bit of a bait. Poor Infectrix. I'm just going to go with that as a jungle player. But you see Infectrix trying to catch up, trying to just farm up, but another Scuttle Crab is going to go over, and War Machine can continue to press. Look, Kenji's under tower, taking down. That's the charge coming in, but Heiberagi isn't going to be able to land it. Infectrix going down. War Machine Hyper is taking names right now, Smacks. He has a list, and he's writing them down in blood, as that is huge for the side of Just Randoms. They have set the pace of the game, and they are looking to stomp them to the ground.
Holy moly, Lennon. Only Captain Shrimps gets taken down. This Graves is on a rampage. And again, War Machine Hyper just continues popping off in the bot lane. Stun doesn't land, and neither does the snare. But Burton Call, he's hitting those.
That's it. One more shot. Oh, that's it. He had flash. Sasuke had flash. I just want to say he would have survived if he flashed there.
He did have flash.